Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a maternal health expert who fell into the retreat space, and she thinks it's something your company needs to know about. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Have you noticed when you go to the doctor's office, it's so antiseptic, it's so clinical, it just makes you nervous. It increases the stress. And somebody who knows something about stress and relieving stress is Dr. Courtney Gowin. She's a friend and she's also a maternal health expert. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Well, I want to brag about you because you really have the coolest space ever in terms of a place where a mom or expectant mom can feel safe. Describe what you built.
You know, it's so funny. I feel like that space found me. I wanted to open this practice in California on those beautiful Victorian homes. I had this vision. And when I decided to stay in Dallas, I thought, no way I would ever find anything like that in Dallas. And scrolling through Craigslist, I actually stumbled upon this building and I fell in love with it. And I walked up to her and I said, hey, I'm going to lease your space. And she was like, what do you do? I was like, I'm a chiropractic student. I'll graduate in a couple of weeks and I'm going to open a practice. And it was just, I had no fear of failure. And I walked right up and I rented her basement. And then 2 years in, I took over a 3,000 square foot maternal health center. And I've built that literally from the ground up. I started from the basement. Wow. And it's a space it was built out of my own pain. And so after my first daughter, I had severe postpartum depression. And I knew that women needed a space. And diving deeper into it, I realized it was more of a national problem that we have in maternal health is postpartum depression.
Absolutely. We're going to put some pictures up, and I want you to kind of narrate this for it. You call it the Nest. And
yes, it's
that's
the
an
Nest.
Old house, right?
Isn't it beautiful? And it's right in the middle of downtown Addison.
Love it.
I've never seen it before, and it's not only beautiful, but the energy of that space, I feel like it's anointed. Like the spirit of that space. Our people, our providers are some of the best maternal health experts and providers in Dallas. And we've been given the opportunity to serve over 2,000 pregnant women a month.
Wow.
So it's been a huge blessing to not only us, but also to the community. And we're really excited to expand and grow into it.
And you have an amazing team. Well, let me give you a chance to brag about the people that you attract.
Yes, they're absolutely amazing. I always feel like it's a little bit overwhelming whenever I tell everybody. I kind of get this glaze over from people whenever they start to listen. So stick with me. We have 2 prenatal and pediatric chiropractors, 4 massage therapists, a pelvic floor physical therapist, an esthetician for those spa days, a speech and language pathologist, an energetic healer, a homeopath, and a naturopath, and an acupuncturist. And they're all sole focus is perinatal care. So preconception for anybody struggling with infertility, pregnancy, and then postpartum and into motherhood. So we built this community and they're mothers, they're women-owned businesses, and then they're all together with us.
That's amazing. And tell me about COVID and your business, because I have to believe that in terms of the stress of the mom, just anxiety in general is up.
Absolutely.
What have you noticed with your patients?
It's really, really interesting. I always call it a double-edged sword. So COVID, it not only showed us that in hospital births, we had a lot of fear surrounding that. Women were birthing alone. They had to choose between their husband and their doula. And so you saw the rise of anxiety around the birth process and postpartum. But on the flip side, what we did see is providers said, don't come to the hospital until you're in labor. And so our C-section rates dropped. And then as soon as the mother gave birth, they got her out of the hospital. And so there was more care at home. And so I would say there was definitely a duality of that. But And I think isolation was a huge thing because community is where we heal. And so whenever we heal in community, that's where postpartum pregnancy, that's where I call it the secret sauce. That's where healing is. That's where wisdom is. And so we took that away. And thankfully, we've been able to rebuild that back. And I think it's the contrast. It's taken away. And now it's back. People really, really value it more.
Sure. And I can attest, I've been over to visit Courtney's office, and it's an oasis.
It's always fun when you come over. Yeah.
But the joyous people and the energy is just perfect.
Yes, exactly. We love having you.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to talk about your retreat business, and we're going to put up on the screen the retreat page off of your website. Mm-hmm. Talk about this.
So this is something that I unexpectedly fell into. I've been teaching yoga for 15 years, and for 12 of those, I would pop down to the Caribbean and I would teach a little bit in the Caribbean. And after my divorce, I fell apart. Like I just kind of lost everything. I lost my way, lost direction, lost motivation. And so once a week or once a month, I would fly down to the Caribbean, usually to Mexico, and I would move my body. I would eat well, I'd eat all organic food, and I would sweat. I would just do anything I could to just nourish my body and my mind, meditate, journal, pray. And every time I came back from those little retreats of my own, I would be a better mother. I would be more connected. I would have a clearer vision of what I wanted to do with my life. And so after a little bit of time doing that, I thought, I think people need this. And so I just kind of threw it out there of like, hey, come to Tulum with me for a healing wellness retreat. And it sold out. I was like, wait, I think this is great. And I'm getting paid to go on vacation. And so I did another one in Costa Rica. It sold out. And then our second year going, we did one in Tulum. And then that one sold out again. Costa Rica's coming up in June. We only have 2 spots left. And then we're going to Greece. And then I started to realize the revenue it was bringing me in my life for my girls. And then I realized I think every business owner could benefit from putting this into their business model, to share their calling, to teach, things like that. So I created a startup platform called WanderLearn.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's like the first time I've announced it. So it's like really exciting.
This is breaking news. Okay.
Literally.
So how did you come up with the name?
So they're educational retreats. So they're retreats for chiropractors as of now to get their continuing education. And so it's a business write-off, but it's also a heal the healer model. Well, people come in that are usually mothers, doctors, you name it, and they take a step back from their life. And they're not only learning and continuing their education, they're also healing. Mm-hmm. And so every retreat that we host, it's all genres now that we're being able to host. I want them to be educational retreats. So it's a global educational retreat platform.
I love that. And you're making it easy for the business owner who wants to take their employees on just
100%.
a magical...
So the premise is you don't lift a finger. I get to talk to you. You don't lift, you don't even plan, you don't negotiate, you don't do anything. I get in your head and I get to know exactly where do you want to go, what lights your heart on fire. And I build everything. So from the marketing, the email sequencing, the landing pages, I've kind of figured out the secret sauce of these retreats and how to make them profitable. And so what you get to do is show up, share your calling for about 5 to 7. I like to keep it about 5 days. And then you make $10,000 to $20,000 in a weekend, and there's no upfrent costs.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've scouted out the places where you know you're going to have a good experience.
100%. Yeah. So I've traveled the world. That has been my favorite thing to do. So when I was 18, I bought a one-way ticket to Europe, backpacked, and then it was over for me. So I love to travel, and I've been everywhere. And I know really how to curate a really special experience. We're planning one right now for a fitness instructor, and we're going to go to the Bahamas. We're going to swim with the pigs, but we're also going to deep dive into like the spirituality of working out and healing and things like that mindset.
That. And your eyes glow when you talk about this. So
I love
something
it. Yeah.
tells me that this is a business that could 10x for you. I really think so.
Yeah, it's the next one for me.
You're amazing. Well, promise me you will do this again very, very soon.
Oh, absolutely.
We're gonna end with her website. WanderLearnRetreats.com.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
There's that one.
All right, Dr. Courtney Gowin, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.